All right.
So far, so good. Hot.
All the stories already, and videos, and other things. Ba-da-da-da.
Alright. Let me go ahead and bring the chat up. I discovered that the chat was just stuck in like infinite hold mode. I don't know what I did. Or what I didn't do. Dolomite's here. Hello, Dolomite. I'm kind of starting things up. We had some good old-fashioned issues. So, anyway, welcome everybody to Table Talk Thursday, episode 59. I'm your host, Harper_1, with my co-host over here.
Raining Death 909, also known as Kenner. Thank you.
Oh. What? Did I die? The stream did? No, stream's still alive. What was that?
What was what?
What was that? What happened? You just like discoed for a second.
No?
I pointed at you. Stream didn't go down. I don't know. That was weird.
I don't know. I didn't see a spike on my side. I've got like 12
What
ping.
the fuck?
So, I don't know, man.
No, I just watched like your camera. You just disappeared, and then you came back, and I was like, what? Is the stream dead? And I looked down. I had the green box too. I don't know. Green box.
I don't know.
Oops.
Things are running fine on my side.
Alright.
As I can tell.
It's all good. Everything's good.
Until it's not.
Go ahead and cover stuff while I eat my... So I bought a Jimmy John's Giant. This is what's left of it, but not right now. This is what I had from, like, yesterday. These things are pretty good. It's like, fucking... I don't know, it says like 16 inches. It's long, man. Fucking long.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, on to the news. So, to start us off at the top, there's a lot of Trump news today, but we're going to go straight to Putin.
1 second. Rest in peace to High-Kek's character. It's not like you played Enforcer anyway.
What's going on?
He fucked up. We're going to start playing APB. You should download it, like, tonight. Not that I can play it this weekend, but, it's a free-to-play game. It's a third-person shooter.
Okay. Anyways. So, yes, Putin's unlimited range nuclear missiles crashed after 22 miles, according to U.S. intelligence sources.
So this is a new joke now, Russian missile instead of Korean missile? No wonder. I wondered where Kim Jong-un got his tech from.
Yes, the Kremlin has denied U.S. claims that Russia's nuclear-powered cruise missiles with unlimited range crashed after only 22 miles. The weapon was one of a range of invincible nuclear arms announced by Vladimir Putin during a speech in March. Since its range is unlimited, it can maneuver as long as you want. For now, no one in the world has anything like this. But sources with direct knowledge of the U.S. intelligence report told CNBC that 4 tests of the missile between November and February all resulted in crashes. The longest flight lasted 2 minutes and covered 22 miles, while the shortest ended only after 4 seconds, 5 miles after launch.
Well, at least they're all launching.
Yes.
Most of North Korea's didn't get that far, even.
Well, yeah. Some of them made it to Japan.
I said most of them didn't. The most recent ones did, yeah, but most of them didn't.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. So after it takes off with conventional fuel, the cruise missile is freaking nuclear powered by a small nuclear reactor.
Yeah, that's what I was saying that was different about this. To be fair, nuclear powered flight is hard for anybody though. I'm gonna be honest, even NASA and SpaceX testing that. I know NASA's been testing fusion and or fission rockets, but meh.
No, there's no way they're testing fusion rockets. We don't even have fusion energy plants.
Yeah, that's why I said.
Let alone even thinking about rockets.
So I said fission. Well, technically, if you want to make a giant explosion with fission, we can do that. But the whole thing, like, it's easier probably to make a fission anything, like thruster or something that produces power, versus, like, actually producing usable energy, because you have to actually contain what happens in fission.
No, you're talking about fission, not fusion.
Oh, I meant fusion. That's what I meant, yeah.
No. Fusion's fucking extremely difficult. Like, there's a reason why we're not doing it yet. Getting close to it, though.
I know SpaceX has ion thrusters already.
Well, NASA has been using ion thrusters since, like, early 2000s. That's, like, a couple of satellites we have.
Oh, really?
Like,
Nice.
deep space probes are ion engines. Although, I don't think they move very quickly. I mean, they move quickly in comparison because they've had a good starting speed, but I don't think the ion engine can actually push them very quickly.
Ion engines can't be used
Because it's like
inside.
solar power.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they can't be used on Earth because they put out a lot of high energy radiation.
Well, they're used on Earth, but they can't be used for takeoff. They're not good enough for takeoff. They don't produce enough thrust output for that. Is what I was going for.
Anyways, so yeah, nuclear reactors on nuclear weapons. Double the nuclear, double the fun.
Double the nuke, double the fun. Can you figure out why Restream is... that chat's fucked up? No, that's not it. There's a Restream chat somewhere that's just kind of fucked up. I don't know where it is. Weird.
However, the U.S. intelligence has claimed that that particular component, the nuclear reactor, has failed to start. Apparently, the Kremlin's like, fuck you, engineers. We say it's not ready. We're going to do it anyways. Do it live.
Welcome to being a Ruski.
Yeah. Pretty much. And it fucks up. And then they wonder why.
Tell me why our rocket ate a dick. Oh, tell me why. Putin doesn't have a boner. We fucked up a rocket. Anyway. Yeah. Alright, now I get to minimize that.
I'm breaking up on the stream that I'm watching.
Everything's kosher. You're breaking up in my headset for a minute, but everything's good.
Like, I'm looking at my shit, and I mean, there's no reason for this to be happening on my end.
No, it's not. It's just you just broke up just then. I had to hit a spike. It was weird because my network usage for the stream spiked to 4,000. It's supposed to be at 3,500, but it spikes to like 3,800 randomly. Weird.
So apparently the new nuclear weapons are designed to overcome U.S. missile defense systems in countries like Poland and Romania.
Romania.
According to Putin. Here's a quote. "No one wanted to listen to us. Listen to us now," says Mr. Putin said.
Says Mr. Putin said. Yes, Kenneth. Perfect.
Yes, that's perfect. Actually, this is actually pretty crazy. So I've actually been reading about some of the things. So there's a three-pronged system for Russia's nuclear arsenal. So there's these nuclear-powered missiles, and they also have hypersonic missiles, which are fucking insane. They can go between... So normal missiles like ICBMs go between like Mach 1 and Mach 5. These hypersonic missiles go between Mach 5 and Mach 10. So to put that into reference, Mach 5 is 3,800 miles per hour, and Mach 10 is like 7,600 miles per hour. Basically, it could hit from here to Washington in under an hour. And it's pretty crazy because basically what they said how it works is that it like bounces along top of the atmosphere. It doesn't go into space, but it bounces along top of the atmosphere. So it's faster than any missile system can stop.
Yeah, and that's also the other whole, their fucking torpedo missiles are for, fucking with stuff. Not the torpedo
Yeah,
missiles,
but their torpedo missiles,
they're not torpedo
those
missiles,
are
they're
just...
torpedoes. I thought they have legitimate nuclear tip torpedoes.
Well, probably. I mean, we do.
Do we have nuclear tip torpedoes? We have nuclear armed submarines that fire Tomahawk cruise missiles tipped with nukes, but not actually nuclear-tipped orbs, I don't think.
Yeah. I don't think they do either. Anyways, but yeah, no, they're launching. So that's the other thing. They're launching missiles super low but fast to where radar couldn't pick them up before it's too late. Basically, Russia's like, fuck you, we have a nuclear arsenal and we're going to destroy the world. If anybody looks at us wrong.
Putin's becoming fucking comrade general
We're going
from
back to the Cold War.
Command and Conquer, dude.
Here's to the Cold War. May it never thaw.
That's one of my favorite quotes from Archer. It's always cold in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. MH17 down by Russian military missile systems, say investigators. A Russian military missile was responsible for shooting down...
You are entirely breaking up for me.
It's fine. Everything's fine. No. Anyway, for shooting down an MH17 over eastern Ukraine in 2014. An international team of investigators said on Thursday, I love how it's taken fucking, what? 6 years? No, I was going to say 6 years, that's wrong. It's taken fucking 4 years to figure this out? Really?
No, they actually figured it out in 2016, but they officially, finally confirmed it.
So, anyway, the Malaysia Airlines Boeing 777 was traveling from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur when it was shot down over the conflict zone in eastern Ukraine on the 17th of July, 2014. All 298 people on board were killed. Oh, so this is the Malaysia Airlines plane that disappeared? Like, isn't this the one that disappeared?
No, this is the one that was shot over the Ukraine.
Oh, this isn't the one that just disappeared off the coast? Okay.
Yeah, no, but this is the one that everybody was like, Russia shut it down, and then Russia's like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
And yes, they did.
At a press conference in The Hague on Thursday, the investigators showed photo and video evidence that they said proved they had identified the specific BUK missile system responsible. They said they had legal and convincing evidence, which will stand up in a courtroom, that the BUK system involved came from the 53rd Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade based in Kursk in western Russia. The joint investigation team looking into the incident, made up of Dutch prosecutors and police and others from Australia, Malaysia, and the Ukraine. They showed photos and video of the convoy that carried the missile system over the border from Russia to Ukraine, and a series of distinctive markings and serial numbers which they said had enabled them to trace the exact system used in the attack and trace it to the 53rd Brigade. Russia has used its veto in the UN to prevent an international tribunal from being set up to determine guilt, meaning any eventual trial would be held in the Netherlands under Dutch law. Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop said the countries that make up the JIT were now considering options about how to proceed, that a sophisticated weapon belonging to the Russian army was dispatched and used to shoot down a civilian aircraft should be of grave international concern, she said. I didn't know they had a woman. Oh. I lost Kenneth again. Okay, that's weird. I lost Kenneth. That's fucking weird. Anyway, ignore the non-conversations. Anyway, this week a group of families of the MH17 victims wrote an open letter to the Russian people before the World Cup begins next month. We are painfully aware of the dark irony that the Russian leaders who will profess to welcome the world with open arms are those who are chiefly to blame for shattering our world, the letter says, and that is the same leaders who have persistently sought to hide the truth and who have evaded responsibility ever since that dreadful day in July 2014. Kenneth, are you there? No. I mean, got good ping. Restart your Discord. I don't wanna. No. Yeah. See, I don't wanna.
Yeah, fuck you.
I got it to work.
Okay, goddamn. All these technical difficulties. I really wanted to comment on this story, so I will. Fuck you, Russia. We knew it was your bullshit all along. As much as you try to deny it, you're still wrong. You can't fight facts. And
You can if
I
you're
really hope
HOW.
all... Well, you can try. But I truly do hope that all of the MH17 victims, like in a class action lawsuit, sues Russia. Just the nation of Russia for providing weapons to the Ukrainian militants and using it to shoot down a fucking passenger jet.
To be fair, the Ukraine is Russia. It is.
No, Ukraine is an independent nation, sovereign of Russia.
So that's what they tell you, but go check out stories about how it's under Russian occupation, my dude.
Well, the eastern part of the Ukraine is, yes, like around the Donetsk region, because Ukrainian separatists with Russian backing, well, instigated basically a civil war.
Also, it's over their natural gas, oil refineries and fields over there.
Well, it's not only that, it's also because Europe wants the Ukraine to become part of NATO, which would put NATO right on Russia's border.
Also, the Ukraine wants to become a part of NATO as well.
Yes, but they don't want to go to war with Russia. So they're in a tenuous place. But that gave Russia the what's the word I'm looking for? The push.
Russia invaded them, not too long ago.
Well, yes, Russia took Crimea in 2014.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, in an entirely illegal act. Breaching international laws across the world. Yes. But, yes, very illegal shit. Anyway, so this is...
On to the news I heard today.
This is bad news, and this actually
Big
was
news.
announced today. So, Trump says the Singapore summit with North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has been cancelled. He cancelled, accusing North Korea of tremendous anger and open hostility.
You mean all that part where Kim Jong-un doesn't want to just give up everything for nothing?
Pretty much. The meeting, which would have marked the first face-to-face encounter with a sitting U.S. president and a North Korean leader, was set for June 12th in Singapore. And there's a quote, "Sadly, based on the tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, I feel it is inappropriate at this time to have this long-planned meeting," Trump wrote in a letter to Kim, which was released today. The president dictated every word of the letter himself, a senior White House official told the reporters, which, if you've read the letter, it's clearly his wording. No question. I absolutely believe them. The senior White House official also said that North Korea had suspended direct communication with the U.S. over the past week. Much of the letter was written in seemingly friendly terms, including praise for North Korea's recent release of 3 North Korean prisoners. In contrast, Trump also appeared to issue a threat that conjured memories of his war of words with Kim last year. Quoting, "You talk about your nuclear capabilities, but ours are so massive and powerful that I pray to God that they will never have to be used," Trump wrote. North Korea took offense to the remarks on Monday by Vice President Mike Pence that the communist country could end up like Libya if it doesn't make a nuclear deal with Washington. Before Trump's cancellation, a top North Korean official, Cho Son-hu, lashed out against Pence's remarks, quoting, "As a person involved in U.S. affairs, I can't suppress my surprise at such ignorant and stupid remarks gushing from the mouth of the U.S. Vice President."
My response to that is, have you seen our president?
Have you seen our Vice President? But, fucking idiots to be saying shit like Libya. So, and of course, this is where they get it from. This is where they all get it from, because this fucking idiot So the vice president's comments also echo those of Trump's national security advisor, John Bolton, who had suggested the US could pursue a Libya-style denuclearization plan with North Korea. Years after the nuclear deal, Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown and slain in a move the US supported. North Korea's Kim Jong-un is concerned about regime change as well. But shit, when the US starts throwing around words like Libya and you're going to get a Libya-style deal, I think he has a good reason to be concerned. Because that's what happened. Libya got rid of the nuclear weapons and we got rid of Gaddafi. Odds are the same thing's going to happen to Kim if he gives up his nuclear weapons. I don't know, what are your thoughts?
This is a good sandwich.
Okay, thoughts about the story.
The sandwich is pretty good, just like the story.
Okay, clearly you haven't heard anything I've said, so moving on.
I'm making jokes. No, I've heard plenty of what you said. But no. It's possible. It's also possible that we would just depose him anyway, like we do with everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much, I mean,
the whole window, we were like, yeah, we had you in a sniper scope the whole time and could have murdered you thing last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, to be fair, on Kim's side, you know, that all they had to do is really give up prisoners. Like,
I don't know, you broke up for me.
There's nothing really going on there. Oh, your video froze, but it's cool. Oh, there we go. You're back. Everything's good.
Okay.
But what I was saying was that, North Korea, you know, not getting anything really out of the deal. Not even anything. I don't even think we were going to agree to pull any troops out of South Korea or do anything. There was literally nothing. It was just like Trump's like, either you denuclearize or else, basically.
Yep.
Anyway, more Trump news. Good old Trump, always full of fucking ridiculousness that makes news. Trump calls Canada very spoiled and difficult to deal with on NAFTA. U.S. President Donald Trump is taking aim at Canada, America's hat, calling his neighbor to the north very difficult to deal with and very spoiled. Trump's scolding comes amid reports in U.S. media that White House is considering steep tariffs of 25% in imported vehicles. It's already a quarter on imported paper. Only because I know my family owns a newspaper. They weren't.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, so they weren't really affected because my mom only prints out like 1,200 copies a week, so they don't use too much paper. But like everybody else, oh yeah, they still had to start paying more though.
Yeah, of course. They're covering. Y'all are covering the cost.
So anyway. Speaking of reporters Wednesday, Trump leveled the same accusations against Mexico in regards to the ongoing NAFTA negotiations. They've been taking advantage of the United States for a long time. I am not happy with their request, Trump said, of the two countries. But I will tell you, in the end, we win. We will win, and we'll win big. Sounds like a fucking
I love his comments because it's exactly Trump in that statement. Mm-hmm. That is pure, unadulterated Trump.
Yep.
And he thinks he's going to win against fucking Canada.
Three countries have been locked in NAFTA renegotiations for months, and Trump said his trading partners have been very spoiled and said what they've asked for is not fair. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh said he didn't know if anyone should be surprised that Trump made a comment of that nature. His tactics so far in dealing with any country, and in particular with Canada, has been to use bullying tactics, and we've got to stand up to a bully. We can't allow those types of comments to throw us off our priorities, Singh said. Earlier Wednesday, Trump tweeted that there will be big news coming soon for American auto workers. Hours later, the White House released a statement that Trump had spoken to U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross to consider initiating a Section 232 investigation into imports of automobiles, including trucks and automotive parts, to determine their effects on America's national security. What?
Because as we now know, everything is national security. Steel, national security.
Yep.
Iron, national security. Soy, national security. Everything is national security.
Trump has suggested new tariffs for 20 to 25% on auto imports, according to Associated Press, which based its report on an anonymous source. Rules on autos have been one of the most divisive topics in NAFTA negotiations. The U.S. has reportedly pushed to restrict duty-free status to vehicles only if they have greater parts made in America and North America. Good thing there's a Nissan plant and Toyota plants in America. But like my fucking car, my prices are going to go up. So are yours, probably.
No, my Honda.
Yep.
It's going to be more expensive.
I mean, it's still going to be cheap because it's Honda. The surplus of parts for your vehicle is insane. But like,
Thankfully.
that may be why I ran into the issue when I tried to change my brakes, where there's no rotors for my specific car, even though I was using like OEM shit replacement, like just a generic sheet of metal from any of the auto parts stores that would fit my car. Couldn't find any at all. And they're like, yeah, it'll take like a week to get here. And it's like, I'm changing my brakes now. I need them now. So, yeah. Whatever. Oh, well. We'll see.
Anyways, so on to Ukraine. So this story over here is all about fucking political backdoors and shit. So, Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has received a secret payment of at least $400,000 to fix talks between Ukrainian president and President Trump, according to sources in Kiev. The payment was arranged by intermediaries acting for the Ukraine leader, Petro Poroshenko. The sources said, Mr. Cohen was not registered as a representative of Ukraine as required by U.S. law. Because that is U.S. law. That's why other people get in such shit for advertising for their countries, essentially. The meeting at the White House was set last June, shortly after the Ukrainian president returned home. His country's anti-corruption agency stopped its investigation into Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, who, Paul Manafort, was also a registered Ukrainian representative for a time. A high-ranking Ukrainian intelligence officer in Mr. Poroshenko's administration described what happened before the visit to the White House. This is pretty crazy. This is exactly like how the movies portray shit going down. So, Mr. Cohen was brought in and said because Ukraine's registered lobbyist and embassy in D.C. could get Mr. Poroshenko a little more than a brief photo-op with Mr. Trump, Poroshenko needed something that could be portrayed as talks. The senior official's account is as follows. Mr. Poroshenko decided to obtain a back channel to Mr. Trump. The task was given to a former aide who asked a loyal Ukrainian MP for help. So it says, from the top, another, they just keep fucking take care of it. I don't need to know how. So he in turn used personal contacts to attend a Jewish charity, who attended a Jewish charity in New York State. This eventually led to Michael Cohen, the president's lawyer and trusted fixer, and then Michael Cohen was paid $400,000. So, god damn. Basically, meeting at a meeting, champagne, wine, and hey, how about $400,000? Get me a meeting with Trump.
I mean, he's Trump's lawyer, so I mean, he's like, man, that's good pay. Even though Trump already pays me a shit ton.
Yep. So the senior official in Kiev said Mr. Cohen had been helped by Felix Sater, a convicted former mobster who was once Trump's business partner in the Ukraine. An allegation of which Mr. Sater's lawyer denies.
No.
What?
None shit.
So, though it came through, official channels, Michael Cohen's fee for getting Mr. Poroshenko more than just an embarrassingly short, brief few minutes of small talk and a handshake. The Ukrainian side were angry. The official went on because Mr. Cohen had taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from them for something he seemingly could not deliver, and right up until the last moment, the Ukrainian leader was uncertain whether if he would avoid humiliation. Poroshenko's inner circle were shocked by how dirty this whole arrangement with Cohen was. I mean, not surprising. It's Trump and anybody Trump's associated with. They're all dirty. They're all on the take in some way or another.
I guess, but like, that's their fault for, coming and offering money or coming and doing stuff. Or maybe, he was like, you're going to have to pay me a finder's fee.
Or Mr. Cohen could have been like, I gotcha, and then reported it to I don't know who the hell handles international bribery and shit.
Secretary of State? I don't know.
I don't know, probably some government agency.
Let's be realistic, though. If somebody was to offer you $400,000 to just do something like this, I'm sure you'd do it. It's like, I don't see a problem with you meeting somebody.
It depends on if it could be traced back to me. The thing is what he did is quite illegal, because under U.S. federal law, representatives of countries need to be registered. And it also is a major conflict of interest, considering he is not only the president's personal attorney and long-term friend, but also he's not legally registered to be a representative of the Ukraine.
But was he a representative? I mean, does getting paid make you a representative?
Yes, because he's getting paid to provide them a service to, get meetings together between political officials. So that would essentially make him a representative.
Is that how that works?
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like you coordinate meetings at an international level for, the highest political people in that country, and you're not representing them. That doesn't add up.
I don't know. Whatever. Rohingya militants massacred Hindus in Myanmar, says Amnesty. The Rohingya military group Asara carried out deadly massacres and abductions of the Hindu community in Myanmar's Rakhine state last year, a new report by Amnesty International has revealed. Testimony collected by Amnesty from dozens of witnesses and survivors of the attacks in Rakhine in August have detailed how up to 99 Hindu men, women, and children were killed by ARSA militants armed with knives, swords, and sticks. Only those who agreed to convert to Islam were spared. They rounded up 69.
Yes, so this was basically
specifically
the start of it all. This was the key point for when the Myanmar's military decided to genocide the Rohingyans.
Man. Yeah, so they rounded up 69 Hindu men, women, and children before executing 53 of them. Some who agreed to convert from Hinduism to Islam were freed. Raj Kumari, 18, who witnessed the attack, told Amnesty they slaughtered the men. We were told not to look at them. They had knives. They also had some spades and iron rods. Doesn't sound very militant. We hid ourselves in the shrubs there, and were able to see a little. My uncle, my father, my brother, they were all slaughtered. The report also details other ARSA attacks on the 26th of August on the outskirts of Muangdao town near Myo-Thu-Gi village, where more Hindus and Buddhists were killed. ARSA, the Arkan Rohingya Salvation Army, are a group of trained fighters estimated to be in their hundreds. Not even thousands, just hundreds. It was formed in around 2012 in reaction to long-term systematic discrimination against the Rohingya community in Rakhine, but only came to prominence in October 2016 after a series of attacks on Myanmar's security forces. The Amnesty report, which has been verified through hundreds of witness accounts, is likely to be controversial because it backs up the assertion by Myanmar's military and government that their campaign of violence carried out in Rakhine last year was in response to ARSA's actions. It was following attacks on the military that the security forces descended on northern Rakhine, attacking, killing, and raping Rohingya people in their path. See, attacking and killing's okay, but the raping part, that's where things get dodgy. But anyway,
and really, one atrocity does not make it justify another.
No, I mean, but we can't say anything. Have you seen the Middle East in our hands there? Really? But anyway,
I mean, I can. It's not like it's not like I did anything in the Middle East. It's people that
we idly stand by as we let our country send people there, as we continue to pay into our
What kind of power
systems.
do I have?
I don't know.
I have nothing.
Exactly. I'm glad you finally come to understand that. Now we're on the same page. Anyway.
Well, I don't know what the hell the point of that is. I mean, yes, shit needs to be done, but it's not like I'm in a position to do things. If I was, I would try to do something.
You
Back to the matter
wouldn't
is
be
right
able
now,
to do
I'm
anything
not.
anyway. Even if you were ever in like such a position, your voice still probably wouldn't matter at that point.
Yeah, what if I was president?
You can't be president. Sorry, not sorry.
Fuck you, I'm gonna be president. If Obama can make it, I can make it.
Yeah, but see, Obama was learned. He went to a good school.
Fuck you.
The accuracy, though. But besides that, he was also, I don't know. His family was, I think, into politics and stuff anyway. Remember, like we talked about the last time, the only people that make it are already ultra rich and already know everybody else.
Yeah, but he was like a, what? First, like, barely second term senator?
I don't know. No, he was already senator, so there you go. That's why. Anyway, the amnesty reports was it was the following attacks on the military. About 700,000. About 700,000 Rohingya fled to Bangladesh, which is coincidentally where I get called from, where they are now living in camps in Cox's Bazar. Tirana Hassan, crisis response director at Amnesty International, said it was important to stress that justice was needed for those who suffered at the hands of the Myanmar military and ARSA. Both must be condemned. Human rights violations or abuses by one side never justify abuses or violations by the other, which is what Kenneth was just saying. It's hard to ignore the sheer brutality of ARSA's actions, which has left an indelible impression on the survivors we've spoken to. Accountability for those atrocities is every bit as crucial as for the crimes against humanity carried out by Myanmar's security forces in the northern Rakhine state.
Because really, like, Myanmar security could have, taken us a whole... it's difficult, really.
Yeah.
I mean, this is issues because Burma, or Myanmar, whatever you want to call it, refuses to recognize the Rohingyan people as citizens of the nation.
Refuses to recognize people as people.
Yeah, pretty much. And without them being citizens of the nation, they have no rights. And then, well, they get systematically abused, and I mean, they're living in fucking terrible huts with no running water or electricity or anything to denote modern civilization, realistically. And then you wonder why people who've been systematically beaten down by your, history of the nation, refuse to abide by your laws and shit. Not to say that the actions of the Rohingyans are necessarily justified. They are not. Non-violent solutions are the best way to resolution.
Well, I don't know if I could say non-violent. I mean, all the protests that did anything useful in America most of them were semi-violent.
Not really. I mean, you look at like Martin Luther King as the big notable example.
Yeah, but
I mean, he always
on
preached
the flip side of things, like the people that also liked his teachings and continued on with his teachings, some of them got super violent.
Malcolm X was part, or not? Yeah, Malcolm X was part of the problem.
Violence, yeah.
I mean, they were going on at the same time, and Malcolm X did promote violence, and Dr. King disagreed with him. Or you could look to in the area, fucking Gandhi. Don't really know too much about Gandhi.
Yeah, but Gandhi, I thought, was also Gandhi wasn't as good as everybody says he was. I forgot. There's some things he did that were bad.
He wasn't. He did quite terrible things, I believe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, non-peaceful solutions.
I don't know. I mean, I want to push on the thing that the American Civil War was one of the best things to happen. Not the American Civil War. Whoops. The American fucking independence. Well, the American Civil War was good too. It sure did weed out a lot of people. Wish we had weeded out more people. We fucking culled our population. Didn't we lose almost like half of our people or something? Each side, like the entire losses for the war was, I think, like 40% or something, or 50% of the entire forces for both sides were lost.
Maybe the percentage of forces, but not the percentage of total population.
No, not total population, but forces. It was the most fucking fatal war in U.S. history, or in history, the world's history. The biggest reason why is because the fucking medical,
the medicine.
The medicine was awful. People died more from fucking...
It's like not washing their hands.
Well, yeah, people died more from fucking doctors and getting limbs cut off and shit more than they actually died from getting shot.
Yep, oh, the irony.
Yep. Irony, literally. Iron balls. Musket balls. Anyway, carry on.
Yes.
Lead balls, actually.
On to shootings in America, because we've just had another school shooting in America.
We've had like 2 or 3 of them last week. This is the 9th.
Yeah, we've had... Well,
I think it's 2 for sure.
We've had about 4 in the last 2 weeks. This is the 8th or 9th mass school shooting this year. It's the 22nd school shooting overall. So this just keeps getting more and more routine.
It's okay. It's the end of the year. There can't be much more school shootings until the beginning of the next year.
You say that. I mean, somebody could just shoot at a school. That'd technically be a school shooting.
I know we covered one of those stories or something. Or I covered that now at some point.
No, but... Yes, so... This is talking about the recent Santa Fe High School shooting.
Yep.
Where a gunman killed 10 people and injured 13. And I won't say his name or show you a picture. That's a rule we're instituting because we're not going to give these people any more publicity.
Am I
the mainstream media has already given them.
So are we interested Are we
instituting
that?
Instituting that.
PM me for news. I'll give it to you. I don't care. Make this motherfucker famous. Anyway.
Anyways, so this is a bit of a timeline, but also more information about it. So in the span of a half hour, 10 were killed, 13 injured. The sheriff's department has said that the resource officer engaged the gunman within 4 minutes of the first shot. So that's, I guess, pretty good response time for sure. Unfortunately, 4 minutes was enough time. The sheriff says that 200 law enforcement officials rushed to the school Friday to assist the district police. Police say the entire incident lasted about 25 minutes. Wow, that is a very quick time to shut down the entire situation. I'm rather impressed with the police to be able to have effectively and swiftly eliminated the incident. So the gunman is currently being held in Galveston County on suicide watch. Let's see. The sheriff says those officers were able to keep the gunman contained to one room of the school as more officers arrived and searched the entire campus. They said after approximately 25 minutes after encountering, the shooter surrendered. The gunman, who opened fire inside the Santa Fe High School Friday morning, allegedly repeated, "Another one bites the dust" during the carnage, according to one survivor.
Nice. Fucking nice.
Said he was playing music, making jokes, had slogans and rhymes he kept saying. That's weird. I don't know, I can't think of any other time in all these school shootings when a person has had a mood music to go with their...
Oh, another one bites the dust! Bang, bang! Another one bites the dust! That's pretty good. I'll give him that one. That's weird,
Yes,
though.
true.
Maybe,
Yeah, no, it's
fucking definitely the nth level crazy. Speaking of nth level crazy, you have to figure out what that thing is you were going to talk to me that serial killers have that I may or may not have. Find out next time on Table Talk Thursday.
yeah. But Trenton Beasley said the suspect on Good Morning America, every time he'd kill someone, he'd say another one bites the dust. Beasley first heard a singular boom that morning in art class, he said, after which he figured was a textbook falling. Reasonable. And then he heard 2 more booms, after which everyone just started taking off running.
See, I guess that's reasonable, but on the other side of that, gunshots, even though like I've played video games and video game gunshots aren't realistic, I can still tell in real life, like, gunshots are very distinct sounds. Meh.
He's using a shotgun and a revolver.
Yeah, which both have very distinct sounds that are separate from each other as well. The revolver's probably loud as fuck. Shotguns are also pretty loud, but yeah, no, they're noticeable sounds.
Beasley broke into the room where they stored kilns, but the gunman found them and fired at them. While in the room, Beasley and another student assisted in wrapping the wounds of a person who was injured. Which that was actually my thought when I found out this happened in the art room. My thought was in like our school, because the kilns are always in a separate room because they produce a lot of heat, and I think they're kind of loud sometimes, and they're also pretty big and heavy. So that would have been my idea if I couldn't leave the building, would be to run into the room with the kiln and like kind of push in front of the doorway. Because I mean that's a heavy, large metal object that also has a lot of padding to keep the heat in.
Were you thinking about, like, was this during when you were going to school, or is this, like, nowadays, like, as you're a tech?
Nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, nowadays thinking about it, if that happened in the art room,
dude,
it's a reasonable place to go.
The best place to go is to the nearest fucking IDF. If it's in the high school, nearest IDF, because nobody's going to go in there. They can't.
Yeah.
And there would be no reason for them to go in there because there'd be, well, nobody in there. Yeah.
Yes, but as an IT person, yeah, I'd go for an idea for finding a fucking exit.
Yeah.
But as a student, if this had happened, I would have gone, and it was in the art room.
Or you could be like me. As an IT person, I would just walk around, go into people's classrooms, and continue doing work when nobody's telling me that the school's on lockdown. However, if I started hearing gunshots, me being me, I probably would have been like... See, I actually honestly thought about it when I was stationed at the high school, too. Like, I put serious thoughts into, like, plans. I was like, okay, so... murder. How do I kill a student that's got running around with a gun? It's like, how do I roll this? How do I try to save people? Or do I just hide in a fucking closet like a little bitch? And well, honestly, it boiled down to, like, I'd love to go challenge somebody with a gun and go try to slit their throat, but then I thought about all of the other, like, the stupid officers or anything, even if I, like, concealed carried illegally in the school and wasn't supposed to. I don't think I would have been shot by the officers, but still, like, there was a lot of things I thought about. A lot of them ended with me getting shot for any reason. Me getting shot by the police that came in, you know, the SWAT that came in, really just because I was walking around or anything like that. Like, basically all sorts of problems and all sorts of reasons why teachers and staff shouldn't have guns to fight people either. It's not if you turn the situation, it's already pretty bad. Sure, if you had a gun on you and, like, you saw the kid with a gun walk into your fucking classroom and just fucking blasted him really quick, maybe. But if you have people running around in the school, everybody with guns, trying to be a vigilante, then you create not only more targets for yourself, but also, like, you know, chances
more targets for the killer.
Well, not only that, I don't care about the more targets for the killer, though some of the people probably need to be thinned anyway. But you create a bigger problem for the police force and the first responders and everybody else trying to fucking... And then other people. You just see somebody with a gun, if you're not trained properly, even if you are trained properly, you know, the kid you're looking at might look like an adult, or it could be an adult is the active shooter. Some dude that's an adult came in. And then all of a sudden, you know, all the other adults that have guns, one of them is now possibly the target. And, like, it just becomes a mess. It's easier whenever it's a student, because you're like, there's this short little kid fucking running around with a gun, and you're just like, that, done. But still. Also, chances of you being jumpy and shooting somebody that like comes up trying to help you, just all of that. Anyway, carry on.
Yep. But anyways, another student, Rome Schubert, scaled a 7-foot wall as he fled during the shooting, initially not realizing he'd been shot in the head. His mother,
Wow.
Sherry Schubert, wailed and screamed when she found out her son was in the hospital. She told GMA. But he was not critically hurt. The bullet went through the back of his head and out the side.
So, went like this. That's kind of surprising. I still feel like that would give him brain damage. Unless it was like a grazing shot where it just skidded along the backside of his head. But if it actually punctured and went through, his brain's exposed to air, and like as soon as your brain gets exposed to air, your brain cells start dying. Everything starts dying. Air in brain is bad. Also, the fact that chunks of your brain getting, ripped out through by a bullet is also bad. Everything with your brain is bad. That's why brain surgery is really, really, really hard. That's why I'm just surprised. Yeah. It'll probably come up later on in his life.
He said if the wound was anywhere else, the doctors told him, he could have been paralyzed or killed.
Well, yeah, there you go.
The star basketball player at Santa Fe High School returned to the field the next day. He said to give a little feeling of hope. He wore the initials of the victims on his wrist as he played. That is incredibly
odd,
brave, and courageous of him.
Still odd that the kid who got the back of his head shot just went and played fucking basketball the next day. Whatever.
Yeah. No, it is odd. I mean, it's definitely admirable.
I guess. I don't know.
Anyways.
I don't admire stupidity.
The suspect allegedly wrote in journals, this is talking about the suspect, stating that he wanted to carry out the shooting and then commit suicide, but he gave himself up to authorities, according to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who called the shooting one of the most heinous attacks we've ever seen in the history of Texas schools.
I'm going to go with no. No, it's not. There's been higher death counts in Texas schools to shootings.
Has there been?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you have an example?
UT Sniper? I don't know. The UT Sniper was serious, though. I think that was actually over here at UTD. We talked about that, me and somebody else. Is this where the UT Sniper was? It fucking sat up in the bell tower and fucking destroyed people? Interesting. I don't know. Anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if there's been higher death counts. 10 seems really low.
10. I don't really think so. I mean, 10 is pretty high.
Well, 10, just realistically, for the amount of time he did it in, like 4 minutes basically is what he got before anybody came up and confronted him. 4 minutes, 10 people's pretty good. Just think about it if he hadn't been stopped. Those would be the numbers. Anyway. Teen accused of an addiction to Dixon High School shooting appears in court. We roll a video, or as I go to studio mode to make sure we can roll a video. That's just me. That's me and Kenneth. Is that it? That's it, but that's not the right camera, or right browser. There we go. That's the right browser. There we go. We're gonna fade in. There we go.
The teenager accused of firing shots inside Dixon High School back in court today. 19-year-old Matthew Milby briefly appeared by video. He's charged with aggravated discharge towards a peace officer, at a school employee, and in a school building. Police say Milby brought a gun to graduation practice. The school resource officer shot him after an exchange of gunfire outside the school. Today, a judge set Milby's preliminary hearing for June 7th. His attorney says this has been a difficult time for the family.
They're very worried about.
I guess he assumed he was going to be able to shoot up the graduation or something.
Confused about why this happened.
So this is the one that was recent, the one that was the graduation.
They're just
practice.
Extremely worried about what's going to happen. These are very serious charges.
Milby is still being held in the Lee County Jail on $2 million bond.
It's a $2 million bond, kid. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not getting out.
No. The dude's just like, and his family is worried, and it's like, I don't know.
The green screen's kind of wigging out.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, so the next story. The thing is blamed for the gun violence, riddling abortion, the media, and doors.
Pretty much anything that's not guns is gonna get blamed.
You're not going to fix it by taking away the rights of law-abiding citizens.
This is not just about guns. It's not just about school safety. It's not just about mental health. It's
Speaking of mental health, he doesn't look like he's in the most mentally stable condition. Like, look at his mouth movements, his eyes, man.
everything.
The problem that we've got is we're trying, like the Dickens, to treat the symptom without treating the disease. And the disease in this case isn't the Second Amendment. The disease is youngsters who are
I'm going to call bullshit to the stupid culture of violence.
They've been drugged in many cases.
I mean, that's just fucking idiotic. What is this culture of violence? You know?
I don't know about the culture of violence. I can blame the Second Amendment, because it's not the Second Amendment.
Families through violent movies and particularly violent video games.
And then fucking
But the video games and the whole
it's the video games and the abortion and the trench coats.
Yeah. I like trench coats.
The guns. It's about us.
Well, the trench coats are
We
the
need
problem,
armed
according
teachers
to some
trained,
idiot.
of course, not just anyone who has
Armed
a gun,
teachers,
but trained how to
fewer
handle
school
active shooters
entrances,
in the
because
schools.
there's too many
We need to
entrances
harden
into
the
a
target.
school.
Number two,
We need to
Jay,
limit it.
we
Only
need
2
to get down to
entrances.
1 or 2 entrances into our schools. You have the necessary.
Because
Wait, hold on a second. This guy's saying there's too many entrances and exits. You need only 1 or 2. You know? All right,
Has
so
he been to an American public school?
well, no, it's not even that. Let me go down the list here. If I was a shooter that wanted to kill tons of people, the easiest place for me to do it would be to funnel people in through 1 or 2 exits. That's simple tactics. That's simple war tactics. You funnel people through a single, point, then you get a fucking backup of people. And you could just unload into a mass of unsuspecting people that way. That is the stupidest idea I've ever fucking heard. Also, on the other note, what happens when you are say for instance there's a shooter and he's at one side of the school that's got the 1 exit, or hopefully there's 2. So you, at the very least do 2. If you do 1 entrance, then the shooter just has to sit at the entrance and not only shoot police officers, but anybody that tries to escape, he can just pop those people. It's fucking, that's dumb. That is literally some of the most retarded shit I've ever read or heard or anything in my life. Carrying on though.
Exits for fire, of course. We have to funnel our students
he's not a very smart
into our
man,
schools so we can put eyes on them.
I think those are the most idiotic comments I've ever heard regarding gun safety. Let me be clear. He should be removed from office for his failure to want to protect the citizens of Texas. To hear him continue to make the argument after 10 people died in his state that guns are not the issue is simply a crock.
This was a hard school already. There was a lot of safety measures in place. You had armed school resource officers. You had prepared action plans for active shooter drills. There was a lot of activity already happening, and I don't think that.
No, I'm just laughing that she said a bunch of times. I don't think we've ever had a fucking active shooter drill ever. Really, I don't really remember it. Maybe there was one time. There was no, and it's just it's just all the APs do is walk around and they check to see if the door was locked. That was it. They didn't. That was it. There wasn't anything else.
And also, realistically, it's all of the classrooms have glass windows, large, long glass windows.
Yeah. Well, the thing with those glass windows is that they have the metal.
And yeah, they
metal
have the little
pieces,
mesh.
so they can't. I don't think they can be broken into.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, give me access to one of those doors. Tell maintenance to just give me one of those pieces of glass, and we'll do a home test. We'll do it live on Twitch. I'll shoot at glass and show how easy is it for a school shooter. Maybe I should run one of those. take that stupid shitty 20 gauge shotgun. Actually, I'll go get a 12 gauge since I'm up here and I have like 50. What is it? I have $5 off, $50 spent at Dick's or fucking Cabela's. Woo, $5 off of a fucking shotgun. That's terrible. It's really shitty. No, but anyway. But yeah, I have no idea.
On the wrong thing here.
The fact is, Jake, it's now 2018. We have these tragedies. It feels like once a quarter. There's a few days of mourning, with the exception of what happened after Parkland, where there seemed to be a moment. And my hope and my appeal to everyone is, let's do an all of the above. But please, for those folks that I work with in the Congress, take a moment and let your position evolve. I mean, there are ways that we can put reasonable restraints without dramatically interfering with people's Second Amendment rights.
But now we need to look ahead to see how we can do better next time, because there will be a next time based on the inaction of elected officials across this country. We need to start using the ballot box and ballot initiatives to take the matters out of the hands of people that are doing nothing, that are elected, and into the hands of the people to see that the will of the people in this country is actually carried out.
That's a good fucking good on the chief of police. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
See, you'll never see me at the ballot box. Anyway, that's just because that's me and my things. My cat's doing shit. Anyway, so
roll the video. It's a short video, like only 25 seconds.
okay. Roll the video. I'm just changing the topic before I fucking change the video. That's not the video, but this is the video. The cat's fucking like attacking the back of my head through the fucking green screen.
She is going to jail. Again, you're not going to be following me over there. She is going to jail. Everything's being recorded too on more than one camera.
We broke the news this morning. DPS just released this body cam video of a DPS trooper accused of sexually assaulting a woman during an Ellis County traffic stop. The video appears to contradict her entire story, so much so the woman's attorney is even apologizing, saying that trooper did nothing wrong. The full
That's funny. I like that story. That's a good lawyer. The lawyer's just like, no, I'm not even going to defend you. Like, this is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
You should feel bad. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's pretty. Well, the dude just fucking went there and just put her in and everything. And she was barely wearing any clothes, though, I think, or whatever. I don't know if that was a dress or if that was just her bra on the top. I couldn't tell.
No, that was a dress, I believe. It's just very revealing.
I wouldn't even. That's probably one of those like $300, $400 expensive dresses that's like stupid. At that point, you might as well just go to Walmart and buy a bed sheet, cut some holes in it. Same shit.
Well, as I learned from Rotten Link, if the dress touches the ground, it is a fancy dress.
Is that how that works?
That is apparently a rule. Because from all the dresses they did a little thing on, which was a good like dozen or maybe a couple, like if it touched the ground, it was instantly a very expensive designer dress. If it didn't, it was just a normal dress from like some consumer store.
Really, that's weird. What were you watching that did that?
Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Morning. They're a YouTube channel, very big.
Well, I fixed that, but now I have this like the creases.
Yeah, a little crease over to your right.
There's one over here. There's also one probably behind my head. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Anyway. What else? Oh, that's Texas DPS too. Wow, that's funny. I guess I'll go ahead and cover the latest EPA bans. AP CNN from Summit on Contaminants. Ah, yes. Environmental Protection Agency Chief Scott Pruitt says dealing with a widespread containment in drinking water is a national priority. Really? So, hashtag, what about Flint? Anyway, Pruitt spoke Tuesday as he...
Well, supposedly the Flint water is actually safe at this time.
Oh, is it finally safe?
Yeah, but the people of the city still don't trust it.
I mean, when you were fucked for so many years, and also the fact that they were still fucking people and trying to make everybody pay it, throwing people into debt and making, screwing up people, getting people's shit foreclosed on, because of all that. No, I wouldn't trust them. No, definitely not. Also, I wouldn't trust Michigan as a state. I mean, that's where Highkeck's from. That's where Highkeck and his family of Hickekis is from.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't trust it. Except for Wayne. Wayne's cool. Anyway, Pruitt spoke Tuesday as he opened a hearing on the contaminants known as perfluoroalkyl? I don't know. I can't fucking...
perfluoroalkyl?
Yeah, perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl. Yeah, probably, I guess. The chemicals were used in items like non-stick coating and firefighting foam, and have contaminated some water systems nationwide. The compounds are linked to developmental defects and other health problems. Pruitt has faced...
I guess isn't surprising.
Yeah, Pruitt has faced criticism in the recent weeks over emails showing the EPA sought to intervene in a critical study on the contaminants. The EPA is barring the Associated Press, CNN, and the environmental-focused news organization ENG from a national summit on harmful water contaminants. Okay. The EPA blocked the news organizations from attending Tuesday's Washington meeting convened by EPA Chief Scott Pruitt. EPA spokesman Jahan Wilcox told the BARD organizations they were not invited and there was no space for them, but gave no indication of why they specifically were barred. Pruitt told about 200 people at the meeting that dealing with the contaminants is a national priority. Guards barred an AP reporter from passing through a security checkpoint inside the building. When the reporter asked to speak to the EPA public affairs person, the security guards grabbed the reporter by the shoulders and shoved her forcibly out of the EPA building. Wow, that sounds like corrupt government.
Quite definitely, considering the EPA and CNN
out of
are,
here.
some of the biggest news agencies in the world.
You mean
and
because
they're talking about
CNN and AP? You said EPA, but anyway. But yeah,
it might have run together, but and the AP. But yeah, no, definitely they're trying to keep out these very important news agencies from reporting on this very serious issue,
and the
even though they're
Press
trying to
is
clearly
the
cover it
biggest.
up. Yes.
That's where fucking you guys get news from down there. You guys get them AP stories. My family gets that and shit. Yeah, no, that's Associated Press is, well, the Associated Press. That's really fucking fucked. That's beyond fucked.
But I mean, like I said, Pruitt's trying to hide all the information he can about this.
Yep.
And about, everything his fucking organization does in general now that he's running it.
You know what? It makes me feel good that I still don't like to drink regular tap water, and I just drink, ultra-filtered bottled water.
I drink regular tap water, but we have, a good filter for it.
That explains everything.
Fuck does that mean?
I'll leave that up to you to figure out.
Yeah. Anyway. So, a teen who started the massive Oregon wildfires ordered to pay $37 million.
Woo! Shit.
Yep. So the 15-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, launched fireworks into a canyon in Oregon last year, igniting dry brush and triggering a blaze that lasted 2 months, spreading over more than 48,000 acres.
Wow. How did they track it down to that kid specifically?
That's always what I wonder in all of these things. How do they know? How do they find it? That's always the crazy thing that I wonder about. I guess do they hunt down every single video camera they can from the area and piece together any fucking satellite and cell phone signals and shit?
Yeah, unless the kid uploaded the video to Facebook or something. But still, maybe he didn't know they started a fucking fire down on the bottom of a canyon. Because kid just launched fireworks into a canyon. What would you expect? What's interesting is they're tracing that as the source, though.
But the fire caused evacuations and extended shutdown of major interstate highways and devastation to the Columbia River Gorge, a major outdoor tourist attraction. Judge John A. Olson issued the fine, which covers the cost of firefighting, repairs and restoration to the gorge, and damages to the homes, and ordered the boy to serve 1,920 hours of community service, which or essentially 80 straight days, 24 hours a day. So I mean, if he's able to devote, let's say, 8 hours a day, it'll take him 240 days
To do what now? Exactly?
to fulfill his community service requirements.
Jeez. I mean, that's a year of community service. I had to do that. That's not that bad. Actually, no, I only had 100 hours.
No,
Which
that's
took
a
lot.
full-time job
Yeah.
of only doing community service for a year.
That's true. Well, thankfully, there's some jobs that he could probably count off as community service.
Maybe.
Just work. All you gotta do is work for like a non-profit, and it counts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I work for Goodwill. It's also community service. Uh-huh.
So victims include the U.S. Forest Service and Oregon's Department of Transportation. The judge ruled that the teenager could set up a payment plan, which could be halted without paying the fine in full after 10 years, as long as he completed his 5 years of probation and did not commit any further crimes. So yeah, we're only going to penalize him for 10 years. After that, sure, we'll let him go, but like,
What is his payment plan for 10 years?
And that's because I mean, at $35 million, let's say divided up over what 50 years. So that's a reasonable amount of time. So that's $700,000 a year.
Yeah, they obviously can't expect him to pay that.
Or $69,000 a month.
Also,
Or 50.
wait, do you expect that kid to even get a fucking job after now being known as the Oregon wildfire kid?
Yeah, apparently, well, his name's been withheld because apparently people are extremely angry at him, and they're fearing death threats and such. So they've withheld his name
That's good.
for safety. Yeah, I don't expect how they think that this is a reasonable.
It's not reasonable. There's no way the kid's gonna do anything or be able to pay anything. I mean, at best, he's gonna get a shitty fucking regular person job.
Or I can get a fast food agent place for probably
$725, $750.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're gonna have to take wages from, and they can't take 100%. So they're only gonna get, I don't know. Let's say he gets 40 hours a week. How old is this kid anyway? Isn't he 14?
The kid is 15.
Okay, so he's still not even legal to work.
So he's not even legally able to work, yeah.
Nope. You know what they might do? They might take it out of his parents.
They actually will not.
Oh, really? That's good.
And this happened in Oregon. I'm trying to see what the maximum garnishment laws are.
For Oregon.
So apparently, the government can garnish 25% of your disposable income.
So what's classified as disposable?
Basically, if your income exceeds $218 a week or $435 per 2-week period.
That's
so at a basic.
Wait, hold on. If your income is more than $200 a week,
Yeah.
that's what's considered disposable. Anything over the 200?
Apparently so, yeah.
How much do they think it's fucking cost to live anywhere? What the fuck? That's fucking ridiculous.
So at $725 at 40 hours, he'll be making, without counting taxes, which taxes take out 15%. So I'm running the numbers real quickly because I want to know how much they're going to try and. So roughly post taxes, he's going to have $246.50 per week left over, and they're going to take anything past that $218. So they're going to take $28.50 out of his check, leaving him with, well, exactly $218 per week. So at the end of the month, he'll have $872.
That's decent.
He'll make just enough money to actually collect fucking welfare and shit.
Is that how much he makes?
That's how much he would make.
Yeah, so
because
I was gonna say he would maybe be able to like pay rent and that's it. Like, can't pay car payment that much. Can't pay anything.
Yeah,
because
that's a job working full 40 hours at $7.25 after the garnishment. He's going to be left over with $872 per month.
Jesus.
I mean, he's 15, so he'll probably be living with his parents for the next 15 years.
The next 10 years,
For
especially.
the next 10 years while he's paying off
the government.
this extremely high fine.
Well, if his family knew what's up, like my mom would, if I got in that situation, my mom would just charge me, like rent or whatever for the disposable income thing, and be like, well, it's not disposable.
I guess. I don't quite know how the
Because you have to pay.
laws
You
work
have to
on
pay to
that.
live.
Mm-hmm.
Not an old baby cat.
Mm-hmm.
My cat's being
Yeah, disposable earnings are those wages left after your employer's made all the deductions required by law. So pretty much all of your earnings. So
all of your earnings are disposable income.
Apparently so. So
That's
let me
fucking
recalculate
ridiculous.
these numbers.
That's dumb, dude. Because it would be the same thing. The same garnishments work for fucking what's it called? That one thing that people do, the kids child support.
Child support. Yeah. So he'll be left with actually $740.
Jesus.
Yep.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, but anyways, continuing on with the story, because I'm not quite done yet. At a hearing last week, the boys urged a reasonable and rational penalty, calling the $37 million an absurd amount for the child. The restitution is solely responsible of the teen and not his parents, according to the judge. Mr. Olson, the judge in question, called it an extraordinary amount and then deferred on a separate restitution order because he wanted more time to review the case. The judge said the largest figure he could find for prior juvenile restitution cases in Oregon was $114,000.
That's more reasonable, but still.
That's more reasonable. I mean, that's $10,000 a year.
That's still. I mean, that's kind of still unreasonable for a kid.
No, that's still quite a lot of money, yes. Yeah. But it's a lot better than fucking an entire person's salary per month.
For real. But all that money goes to the government, so why would they give a shit, right?
Pretty much. So in February, the teen pleaded guilty to reckless burning of public and private property and other charges. And Mr.
I wasn't
Olson
aware that was a fucking charge. Reckless burning.
Well, versus responsible burning of public and private property.
Right? That's a thing?
Apparently so, I guess. Mr. Olson sentenced him to community service and probation, and the boy had to write more than 150 letters of apology to those affected by the fire that burnt more than 75 square miles. Well, that's the least of what he can do after his actions caused people's homes and lives, properties to be destroyed. Anyways, on to tech news.
Yes. On to tech news. Trying to figure out how many more stories I want to cover. I guess we have enough to cover. I was going to try to cut something, but it's all good. Judge. President can't block credits on Twitter. A federal judge ruled Wednesday that President Donald Trump is violating the First Amendment.
You're not covering that top story?
Which top story? Oh, did I miss the top story? I missed it. Sorry, my bad. Woman says her Amazon device recorded private conversation. Sent it out to random contact.
We always hear about they're spying on you and recording your data. Well, Alexa's apparently actually doing it.
Nice. Also, I want to point out that apparently the Amazon drivers around here keep delivering boxes to my apartment. So today I got one for $82.06. And I'm looking at the box, I'm like, there's just this long box outside my door. I was like, I don't think I fucking ordered anything. And I look at it and it says 8206. And I look at my fucking plaque in big black letters next to my door, it says 5206. I look at it says 8206. I keep doing it for a little bit and I'm like, how And so I had to, like, this is as soon as I got home, too. So I had to, like, run it quickly down to the office or whatever because it was almost 6. And I was like, hey, they fucked up and dropped the package off. Last time they called me while I was at work and I was like, hello? I'm like, oh, yeah, so Amazon dropped off a package at your house. It's not there. And I was like, okay. And they're like, did your roommate pick it up? And I'm like, I don't have a roommate. I stay by myself. And he's like, oh, I thought you had a roommate. I was like, no. And sure enough, it was because the maintenance dude was doing work on my apartment, and so he just brought it inside. I was like, hey, maintenance is supposed to be there, so he brought the package inside probably, and he did.
That was nice of him.
So anyway, it was for the person directly above me, whatever the number, 5306 probably. And I was like, again, how does one fuck this up? And I just walked up there and handed it to the guy. It's dumb. Anyway. A Portland family contacted Amazon to investigate after they say a private conversation in their home was recorded by Amazon's Alexa, the voice-controlled smart speaker, and that the recorded audio was sent to the phone of a random person in Seattle who was in the family's contact list. My husband and I would joke and say, I'd bet these devices are listening to what we're saying, said Danielle. Every room in her family home was wired with Amazon devices to control her home's heat, lights, and security system. First of all, why would every room be wired?
Because
Amazon,
it's pretty damn nice.
With Amazon devices? No.
Because like I have my Google Home Mini, and I can do the same thing. So if I had all that smart shit, I could be in any room in the house and be like, turn on the lights, turn off the lights, lock the door, unlock the door, do all this kind of shit. Oh, it's a bit warm in here. Hey, turn off the heat.
Or I could just... I'll just do it from my phone.
Fuck it, it's the future. Well, I could also do it from my phone because I have the Google Assistant, which also does work with everything else. So
exactly.
I could do it.
Also, I would need a good Zigbee setup. So yeah, my Philips lights are Zigbee. By the way, they are all Zigbee, so they can be controlled.
Yeah, which they already could because they are a compatible system.
Yep. Anyway, yeah. So but Daniel said 2 weeks ago their love for Alexa changed with an alarming phone call. The person on the other line said, "Unplug your Alexa devices right now." She said, "You're being hacked." The person was one of her husband's employees calling from Seattle. We unplugged all of them. He proceeded to tell us that he had received audio files of recordings from inside our house. She said, at first my husband was like, "No, you didn't." And the recipient of the message said, "You sat there talking about hardwood floors." And we said, "Oh gosh, you really did hear us."
See, that's kind of weird because, like, is that an actual function of Alexa devices to be able to, like, hey, send this person a message, blah, 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 and it sends it to them?
Yeah, probably.
Is it? I don't know.
It's the same. Like, it's the same function that probably exists in Google. Hey, send this person a message.
Well, I can tell Google to call somebody or send them a text message, but I can't send them like an audio text, an audio message.
I mean, you will be able to with the new Google Assistant, being a real person. Leave them a message saying this, and Anyway, they said our engineers went through your logs, they saw exactly what you told us, they saw exactly what you said happened, and we're sorry. He apologized like 15 times in a matter of 30 minutes, and he said, "We really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. This is something we need to fix." But Danielle says the engineer did not provide specifics about why it happened, or if it's a widespread issue. He told us that the device just guessed what we were saying, Danielle said. The device did not audibly advise her it was preparing to send the recording, something it's programmed to do. So yeah, it's programmed to send recordings. Apparently. Obviously what that says right there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is it meant to send recordings back to Amazon for, like, improving, like, voice recognition?
Well, that's probably automatic, just like with Google stuff.
Because like with Google stuff, because like the nice thing about Google is that it records every time you use it, and like you can see it in, like, if I go to like my Google activity and go to the time, it'll like actually have the recording.
Yeah, but I wanted to point out to you real quick that if you realize that exists and they have that means it could be anywhere else too. You know that, right? You work in IT. You know if you can see it and they give you access to it and it's on their system, that means in theory it could go anywhere.
I mean, it's in their data server somewhere.
Yeah, but it's their data server for only however long. Doesn't mean somebody else couldn't get access to that.
I mean, somebody within Google, sure, probably could, depending on...
Even somebody outside of Google. Man, come on. You work in IT.
I mean, Google
Be
security
real.
is top notch.
It doesn't matter how top notch somebody's security is. It only takes one person to fuck something up.
True, but also Google has all of their data encrypted.
Again, still, we have encrypted data too at TI.
Yeah, but I mean, if somebody got a hold of the encrypted data, what are they going to do? You know how long it's going to try and take to break the encryption on some of the shit?
If somebody really wants it, not too long if they really, really need it or want it or whatever the fuck they're after. I have no idea what kind of trade secrets. Like, there's stuff that talks about, like, ultra trade secrets that I'm involved with, and I'm like, I don't see anything relatively trade secrets going on around here, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of it has to do with the chip manufacturing cycle, but last time I checked, we are not necessarily in the lead on that. Speaking of, besides that, I'm going to check AMD stock. It hasn't broken 13, like,
Should
really.
be, yeah, it has.
Holy shit! It went super up today. Well, no, for the last couple days it's been floating around 13. It hadn't, like, been actually way up like it is now. Oh, I'm holding strong, baby! Oh, yeah! Oh, that's my money right there. Except I have to pull it all out of Ally because Ally sucks dick, and I need to use a different service. My mom said I think she's going to give me like $20K to burn this time.
Nice. If that's going to happen, go for Micron.
I don't know, man. Micron's looking kind of bad.
No. Micron, trust me. I mean, I told you to go with AMD. Go with Micron. The stocks are going to shoot up to about in the 80 range.
Well, me and you, it wasn't necessarily that you told me about AMD. It's that we talked about it for a while. And then I looked at the trend and was like, this is perfect. Because I remember, I had to convince you to buy AMD too. I did it before you did. Didn't I? No. Was it you that did it before me? No.
I did it.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I had the money.
Yeah, but I had to convince you to go harder whenever it dropped. I was like, you know it dropped, and you're slightly out of money now, but buy more. It can only go up from here. And you know what? You did. And guess what? It's up.
That was only $1,000 extra. I mean, I invested my entire portfolio into it.
And you also borrowed on margin.
Yes, I did.
There you go. And it's about to pay off, oh boy.
Thankfully, I was worried there for a little bit.
I was never worried. As I drink my drink. Oh man, Micron would have been good to get into at the end of April when everything crashed. That was at 45, now it's at 61. As I'm checking the year. So the problem currently is Micron is actually at its peak over the last year. That's semi-problematic for me and the way I do numbers.
No, but I mean, even so, it's still going to shoot up about 30%.
I guess, I don't know. It's too late. If it was lower, I'd buy it.
Not really.
Oh, wait, man. Well, over today alone, it went from 54 to 62. Today, the entire stock market boomed. What happened today?
Don't think much of anything happened today.
Yeah, but it went from like the steady 52, 54 that it was floating around to jumping up to fucking 62. See, it would have been great to enter in. Oh no, this isn't today. It's the last 5 days. It would have been great to enter in earlier this week.
Yeah? Well, earlier this week is probably because all the stories started coming out saying it was going to hit 80.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way the fuck up from where it was. I'm debating on hopping into some TI stock because I keep seeing the price fluctuate. It needs to go down.
Don't you have stock options?
No, not with TI.
Alright, TSP has actual shares.
I don't know. I don't think that we have stock options with TSP either. TSP is a tiny company. I don't even sure.
Well, goddammit, get you some stock options.
I'm good. I don't need stock options unless it's a good company I actually give a shit about. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah, so TSP isn't even publicly traded yet. It's still too small time, or they haven't decided to do that. Anyway, that's all irrelevant non-news things. Yeah, so carry on.
So, yes, the president can't block critics on Twitter anymore. So apparently the federal judge ruled Wednesday that President Donald Trump is violating the First Amendment when he blocks critics on Twitter because of their political views.
Oh, that's I find this hilarious. But wouldn't this also make it a precedent that other people aren't allowed to block critics because of their views if it's like political or something or some otherwise that are covered by First Amendment?
Well, this really only applies
Because
to
he's the
people in
president.
political office.
But that means no other person can block them either now. Oh, on top of that, like no Senate, no speakers, no nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I find that funny.
Yeah, because I mean, because it's because he uses it and he is the president. It's pretty much a federal, communication line.
Yeah.
Like federal, system. So like he
Also,
could just
he's
use
retarded.
POTUS.
If he used POTUS, then everything would be... Shit, I don't even think anybody's ever really used POTUS. I think they had a person that did the POTUS thing.
Well, they usually do. Like Obama used POTUS.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't actually use it as his personal shit. He had other people posting to it for him.
Well, yeah, he's the president. He doesn't have time to.
Apparently,
Twitter.
Trump does.
Well, Trump doesn't do shit.
Well,
We
I
all
mean,
know
realistically, I think most presidents don't really do shit. I'm pretty sure a president's job is just about
I
like
don't
our
know.
job, a
I don't
large
know,
percentage
man.
of sitting around doing
that.
nothing.
I've seen Obama go from normal hair to gray in his 8 years. So probably
He's also kind of old, though.
not really.
He's not young. No U.S. president's ever been really young. You can't. You have to have like 32 years. How many? Is it 32? 32 years as a citizen of the United States? Something like
Obama's only 56.
that? That's pretty old. Some people.
That's not old at all.
That's old enough to start getting gray hairs, motherfucker. What are you talking about? That is old. It's almost 60. 50 what? 6, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's old enough to get gray hairs, man. That's
Still.
that's not out of the norm, I don't think. It's okay. By the time I'm his age, I'll be as bald as him.
By the time you're his age, you'll be dead probably
Yes.
from a heart attack.
Yes. Yes.
Anyways, U.S. District Judge Naomi Rice Bushwald in Manhattan stopped
Naomi.
short of. That's what I said. Stopped short in her written decision of ordering Trump or subordinate to stop the practice of blocking critics from viewing his Twitter account, saying that it was enough to point out that it was unconstitutional. A declaratory judgment should be sufficient, as no government official, including the president, is above the law, and all government officials are presumed to follow the law as has been declared. Bushwald said she rejected the assertion that an injunction can never be lodged against the president.
What? That sounds like the president's above the law.
No. She rejected the assertion that it can never be lodged against.
Yes.
Basically saying that it can be.
Yeah. But the problem is that an injunction was posed that said that is a problem in the first place. Like the fact that somebody believes that and fucking would throw that into federal court, fucking jackass.
I'm not following you.
She rejected the assertion, basically that it's asserted that the president is untouchable by law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's touchable.
Yeah, but the fact that that's a people think that's a given is ridiculous.
I think
it's part of the problem. Is what I'm saying.
I think it's just never been challenged.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's been challenged. Watergate. What else?
Yeah.
I don't know who else.
Yeah.
Clinton, yeah, Clinton was another one. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, but she sucked some good dick. Anyway, keep going.
Let's see. The lawsuit was filed after Trump blocked some individuals from @RealDonaldTrump, a 9-year-old Twitter account with over 50 million followers. Each of them tweeted a message critical of Trump or his policies in reply to a tweet he had sent, which honestly, it's bad enough that he has the time in the day to fucking tweet out shit, but then he has time enough to respond to his critics.
And also to just block all of them.
The president should never have time for fucking Twitter unless he's on fucking vacation.
Which he's on vacation a lot. Have you not seen that?
No, that's true. He's always golfing and shit.
He's at Mar-a-Lago.
I mean, his fucking first year, all he did was golf.
Yep.
Like, he's golfed more than any president before him.
Yep.
He's golfed more in 1 year than President Obama did in 8.
Shit. I think, the only other person that went out all the time, I think Bush went out a shit ton. Bush went hunting and golfing a lot.
Yeah, and especially loved his fucking ranch.
Yep. Yeah, but see, Bush didn't really spend much at his ranch. Like, fucking Trump is probably dumping money on Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Bush's ranch was just his house where he lived. And still lives, actually.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But the Justice Department lawyers have argued that it was Trump's prerogative to block followers, no different from a president deciding in a room filled with people not to listen to some. Bush ruled that the tweets were government in nature, and the president presents the real Donald Trump account as being a presidential account as opposed to a personal account, and more importantly, uses the account to take actions that can only be taken by the president as the president. Should have just used POTUS, man. Then you could have blocked people to your heart's content.
Yeah, you can block people on your own for the heart's content. You know, whatever.
Yep.
Oh, man. The next story. FBI seizes control of Russian botnet.
It could happen to you.
I'm looking at you, Asimov. Anyway, FBI agents armed with a court order have seized control of a key server in the Kremlin's global botnet of 500,000 hacked routers. Interesting. The FBI counter-operation goes after VPN Filter, a piece of sophisticated malware linked to the same Russian hacking group known as Fancy Bear, that breached the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign during the 2016 election. VPN Filter uses known vulnerabilities to infect home office routers made by Linksys, MikroTik, Netgear, TP-Link, and TP-Link. Once in place, the malware reports back to a command and control infrastructure that can install purpose-built plugins, according to researchers. One plugin lets hackers eavesdrop on the victim's internet traffic to steal website credentials. Another targets a protocol used in industrial control networks, such as in the electrical grid, which is that one we covered last year that's spooky. A third lets the attacker cripple any or all of the infected devices at will. If a victim reboots an infected router, the malicious plugins all disappear, and only the core malware code survives. The core is programmed to connect over the internet to a command and control infrastructure set up by the hackers. First, it checks to particular images hosted on photobucket.com that held hidden information in the metadata. If it can't find those images, which have been indeed removed from PhotoBucket, it turns to an emergency backup control point at the hard-coded web address to knowall.com. In other words, average consumers
Very on the nose.
Average consumers have the ability to stop Russia's latest cyber attack by rebooting their routers, which will now reach out to the FBI instead of Russian intelligence. According to the court findings,
I bet good money that that this is fucking done by the goddamn Kremlin themselves.
Yep. The FBI is collecting the internet IP addresses of every compromised router that phones home to the address, so agents can use the information to clean up the global infection. The court order only lets the FBI monitor metadata like the victim's IP address, not content, as a technical matter. The court said there's no danger of the malware sending the FBI a victim's browser history or sensitive data. That capability is purely to ask for additional payloads, he said. There's no data that is leaked from these routers to the domain that is now controlled by an agency. See, I know not to trust our government. I'm only going to believe half of that. I believe the government took it over, but I don't believe that they aren't going to inadvertently use that to spy on people.
Well, they would have to adjust the malware itself.
Not if they stole the server that it reports to.
Yeah, but it's not reporting the web traffic. It's reporting, instructions. It's the command and control center, so it's wanting instructions from the server.
Yeah, that doesn't take.
With my knowledge,
it wouldn't take fucking it wouldn't take them much effort to get their cyber team to make an instruction for the malware core that's already in place to get the same, because if it checks into that server already had the malware packages for getting people's information. It doesn't take much to edit that.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, that they could change it because they do have the control now. But
they're assuming direct control.
They've assumed direct control, yes. But I mean, if they stick within the bounds of the court order, where they can only get the IP addresses...
I love how your eyes open, you look sideways. If they stick within the bounds of control, or the court order, yeah, but, like, this is our government. I mean, it doesn't...
But this is the FBI. If this was the CIA or something, then I'd say, or NSA, then I'd be like, maybe. But it is the FBI, and they're a bit more trustworthy than the other government agencies. Not greatly trustworthy, but
no three-letter agency is trustworthy to me. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody in daily life, though. But that's just that. But I'm not to, like, John's point. I don't trust anybody, but I don't live in a backwoods bunker in the middle of nowhere, cut off from all and everything in entirety. Because I like the internet too much, even if I know it's a danger to my existence. See, that's the problem with me. I know all of the dangers. I also know that I don't give a fuck that much. Slightly. I give slight fucks. I only question entering credentials when I'm, like, out and about on public Wi-Fi's and shit, because I'm like, this is just, like, stupid level. But if somebody has, you know, any of my routers or any of the access to my shit and I type in and they fucking get my information, good for you. Good job. You fucking deserve it. You did all the hard work. I don't really care. I mean, besides, if you want to go back to all of every single, like, almost, I don't know how many Americans it is, you know, 3 point whatever billion Americans fucking, like, Social Security numbers and financial data is fucking
200 and something million.
Oh, okay. So not most of it. Well, there's still a large portion of Americans.
Yes, 300 billion American Social Security numbers, yes.
Is there 300 billion Americans? I feel like that's too much. Anyway.
There aren't 300 billion people on the planet.
That's what I thought.
We're like 7.5.
That's what I thought. I was like, no.
Come on, man.
I don't know. You said 300 billion. I don't pay attention to fucking numbers. I don't give a fuck. I already think that, you know, I would go the Thanos route and be like, let's wipe out half of humanity.
It's not really that big of a deal. We don't really need to wipe out half of humanity. And actually, studies and results show that as a country develops more, people stop having as many kids.
Are we pointing at Japan? Is that who we're looking at right now? Japan?
No, I mean, we're in that stage too in America. Most modern countries do this. It's a stage of population because people in, like, developing nations only have so many kids because they only expect less than half of them to survive. So you have 7 kids and, oh well, 4 of them are dead now, so you have 3.
Woo!
That's basically, they're playing the numbers game. But as medicine develops and, you know, things get more modern, they don't need to have as many kids because more of them survive. And most of the world will hit that point.
Nobody survives.
It takes time, but it'll get there where the world's population will stop having 7 kids, 6 kids, etc.
All right. Anyway, carry on.
Anyways, so Uber in the fatal crash detected a pedestrian, but had the emergency braking system disabled. Uber's done fucked up.
Is that the report for which one? Is it the one with the bicycle person?
Yes.
Yes.
So, in the initial report by the National Transportation Safety Board on the fatal self-driving Uber crash in March, confirms the car detected a pedestrian as early as 6 seconds before the crash.
I told you I could see that bitch! Anyway.
Well, I didn't dispute that.
Well, I told you I could see a bitch, and I told you I probably could have stopped. You disputed that for a little bit, and then you saw the actual video that people had. You're like, maybe it's better lit. That I didn't see.
Well, I saw the video that Uber saw, and I'm like, well, I didn't dispute that the system shouldn't have seen it. I disputed that the operator might not have been able to see it.
You disputed that I couldn't have stopped, though, under my own presence, and I'm like, I know I could have stopped. Or I could have stopped, maybe not to 0, but I could have stopped to the point where it wouldn't have killed her. For sure. 100%. I know I could have done that. Could I have stopped to 0? That's questionable. Even for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, but what I was saying was, yeah, like the driver in the video that Uber put out, which the video is darkened to hell.
Yeah. Also,
But
the
if
driver
that
was
was-
fucking around on their phone the whole
And the
time.
driver was on their phone. But I mean, if the situations are as were shown in the Uber video, then yeah, it's reasonable to assume the driver couldn't have seen anything because it was like fucking darkness.
Imprisoning me.
All that I see, etc., essentially. But in actual videos that people took, it's a much more well-lit area. So no real excuse on the driver's part. But the system obviously saw, just didn't do anything. But yes, so it's hard to understand the logic of this decision that the emergency system brakes were deliberately disabled. Because it says here, an emergency is the exact situation where the self-driving car and that the driver should be taking action. Because it's a long-range awareness system. And it's long-range awareness can detect problems accurately from much further away. And its 360-degree awareness and route planning allow it to make safe maneuvers that a human could not do in time. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, self-driving cars better than a human driver because it can react better because it's always watching. It doesn't blink. It doesn't get distracted. It doesn't get text messages. Well, it does get text messages. But I mean, that's the entire point of it. But according to the NTSB report, the vehicle registered Elaine Herzberg on LiDAR 6 seconds before the crash at the speed it was traveling, and then puts first contact at about 378 feet away. She was first identified as an unknown object, then as a vehicle, then a bicycle, over the next few seconds, although it wasn't stated when these calculations took place. During these 6 seconds, the driver could and should have been alerted to an anomalous object ahead on the left, whether it was a deer, car, or bike. It was entering or could enter the road and should be attended to. But the system did not warn the driver and apparently had no way to. Because not only was the emergency braking system disabled, the alert was also disabled. So then 1.3 seconds before impact, which is to say about 80 feet, the Uber system decided that the emergency braking procedure would be necessary to avoid Herzberg, but it did not hit the brakes because the system, again, has been disabled, and it didn't warn the driver because, again, it's been disabled. So Uber's own fucking system said to brake, and it couldn't brake because they disabled it.
Now, I wonder if the person that was riding the car disabled it, or if Uber did.
It says Uber did.
Okay.
I mean, I doubt the fucking driver knows how to disable a software-side emergency braking system built into the car itself.
I mean, let me pull up my laptop. Done. I killed everybody. And I accidentally launched like 2 nukes.
I am super Matrix hacker.
I walked inside and was like Neo from the Matrix, and then all of a sudden everything was okay. And then at that point I realized I was Neo from the Matrix and decided to fly instead. Flying is G. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to cover the next story too, since it's small? And you seemed very happy about it.
No, I don't care. I have my own VPN.
Do you?
It's just... Well... I'm an IT professional, man. Gotta have a VPN.
I don't have a VPN because I don't feel like paying for shit I don't use.
I only pay like $9.
That's too much.
A month,
That's
or
too much.
$9 every 3 months or something.
That's less too much. For me, that was too much, but yeah, now that's not too bad. Like I said, I don't see the point of paying for a VPN that I don't use. Now, if I had like a fully rotating VPN, like a super good darknet system, where I could go ham and like pay some Israeli place and never be tracked, I'd do that. I've looked into those for reasons, but other than that, no.
Yeah, so I pay $9.99 a quarter.
So for 4 months?
3 months.
3, okay.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
So $3 a month, man, and I get a very good...
I don't know. I'll have to refer to the manual and see if that's one of the decent ones. I have certain manuals for certain groups that outline certain outlines for things.
Sounds very sketchy.
I've looked into a lot of things. I've been in a lot of places on the internet. I'm just gonna go there. Anyway.
Anyways, so Pornhub has launches VPN Hub, its own virtual private network. So the adult entertainment giant Pornhub is entering the busy VPN space with a launch of its own service. Dubbed VPN Hub, the new service is available for free via native apps on Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows. Though there is a premium subscription available that gets rid of the ads and promises faster speed. In the US, the service will cost between $12 and $14 per month, depending on the platform. Pornhub promises unlimited bandwidth even on the free service, which is key given that Pornhub's core selling point.
You said Pornhub.
VPN Hub promises unlimited bandwidth even on the free service, which is key to Pornhub's core selling point is a bandwidth-intensive video. While it offers around 1,000 servers across 15 countries, that is very impressive. Pornhub really developed this shit before they launched it. That is very good.
Well, I mean, they have the backbone infrastructure too. Literal backbone infrastructure, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's pretty funny. And
and it promises it logs no user data, which is awesome.
You know what's good about this? I honestly, I have to say, I really like Pornhub as a group. They do so many good things for technology, not just porn. It's funny.
Sounds like you're gonna be getting VPN Hub.
Dude, I don't know. Well, it says that they promise to, not log data, because that's the other thing. Even if you get some paid service, they log user data, and the whole point of getting a VPN is to go, proper anonymous or to make sure your traffic's hidden for the most part. I mean, unless you're using it for other reasons, just to ghost that you're in another location. Sometimes they use that. But you want one if you want to go, anonymous and shit, then you need something that doesn't track. So, that's pretty good. Also, like I said, I just like fucking Pornhub's ideals. They offer, people olive branches to all the YouTube fuckery. They do other things. They're super hardcore into the fight for net neutrality and stuff. And most of Pornhub is free. They get paid a shit ton on ads, I'm guessing. But even, I went to Pornhub, fairly recently, because I hadn't been in forever. Oh my god. The search features on Pornhub, I would equate it to the fucking Google of porn. It's fucking great. I was like, yo, and I haven't gone back because I have my favorite porn site that I use, but, it's still pretty good. And it's all free, and, even the ads weren't so as intensive as they are on the site I go to. Also, the site I go to just has reruns of the same old shit, so maybe I should probably go to Pornhub. But anyway, I don't know. I just, for some reason, like Pornhub. Anyway. Alright. On to stupid and crazy news. Oklahoma City carjacker taken down by 3 brothers, police say. The suspected carjacker picked up the wrong brothers to mess with, police say. Brothers Juan and Justo Sop were getting home from work at 11 p.m. Sunday in Oklahoma City when an attempted carjacker tried to take their vehicle, the brothers told KFOR. But these brothers weren't about to let the attempted carjacker make off with their vehicle, police said. Instead, the 2 brothers started to fight back. And when a third brother, Antonio, heard the commotion outside the house, he ran out to join the melee as well, police said. We got him down to the ground, but he took out a knife, Antonio Sop told K4. Then we grabbed the knife, took it away from him. It turned out a knife wasn't all the carjacker had on him, though. Then he had a gun, too, Sop told the station. He put 2 shots in the ground. By the time police arrived at the scene, the suspect, Jordan Michael Bond, 29, had been wrestled to the ground by the 3 men. Oklahoma City Police Department spokesman Gary Knight said in a statement, booked at the county jail early Monday morning. Bond now faces charges of possession of a firearm, robbery, and 3 counts of shooting with intent to kill, according to Oklahoma County jail records. Bond has previous felony convictions records indicate. Oftentimes, we'll tell people to comply because that gives them the best chance to survive. But in this case, victims chose to fight, Knight told K4. They were able to handle the suspect and hold him down until police arrived, which obviously gets the person off the streets, so hats off to them. That's a pretty good, feel-good story, I'd say.
Yep.
Dude goes to jack people, gets the shit beat out of him. I love it.
Yep. So, this is just dumb, seeing as it is graduation for a lot of high schoolers now. So, a Missouri teen has been barred from graduation after school sale prank. So, an 18-year-old who put his suburban Kansas City high school for sale on Craigslist has been banned from graduation after the senior prank went awry. So, the Kansas Star reports that Kyle Steele listed Truman High School in Independence, Missouri for the bargain price of $12,275 last week. Problems arose when somebody reported this as a possible threat because of Steele's choice of wording. He wrote that the reason for the sale was the loss of students coming up. Shields says he described the loss of graduates and has apologized, but he's being booted from the Saturday's commencement. District spokeswoman Jana Corey says significant hours were spent tracking down the post source. She says police even issued an emergency subpoena to Craigslist before determining there wasn't a credible threat. But this is just fucking stupid. Just let him fucking walk. Okay, he put up a little thing and it's not even a goddamn threat.
No, I don't know. That's a little stupid. Oh well, hashtag school districts. Anyway, a 30-year-old man was ordered to vacate his parents' Syracuse area home Tuesday after they sued him because he refused to leave. After the judge's ruling, son Michael Rontondo said, "This is outrageous," and said he would appeal the decision. Rontondo's parents said he wouldn't leave the house despite several notices. Rontondo claimed that legally he wasn't given enough notice to leave, maintaining that 6 months is a more reasonable time frame. Parents Mark and Christina Rontondo said they had been giving him notices as early as February 2nd, 2018. The parents said they also offered their son $1,100 to help him find a place of his own. Michael Rontondo said he did take the money, but it wasn't enough to live anywhere else. According to court filings, Rontondo doesn't contribute to the family's expenses and doesn't help out with the chores. His parents even say they've offered to help him get started on his own. Rontondo is calling his parents' efforts retaliatory. Rontondo, who runs a website business, moved back home 8 years ago after losing a job. He said Tuesday that he plans to get some things from home and isn't sure where he will stay. It's like the case of fucking children being children. That's funny.
Yeah, but that ends it for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
On Tabletop Thursday, episode 59.
Before Kenneth says anything, I'm going to have to say between 8 and 8:30 p.m. CST as usual. Even today, it probably wouldn't have made it at 8 because you barely got the stories.
I would have made it at 8 if it hadn't been...
You got the stories to me at like 7:50, mate. What do you want me to do? It was like 7:52.
Hey, that's still 8.
That's not enough time. That's not enough time for me to do anything.
You should have been ready ahead of time. I don't know what to tell you.
No. That's not how that works. Also, even when I told you I was gonna be late, and then like,
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. I literally told you that I was going to be late. I said I was out doing things that dude at his new house. I told you. That's why I texted you that on Discord. And then I ended up not being late, and then I was here. That's why I messaged you at 8:30 and was like, "Hey." Actually, before 8:30, I was like, "Hey, you ready for video?" And it's okay. So that's the reason why. One of the reasons why I started late. That and then the fucking technical issues. Woo.
Anyways, now that this asshole's finished talking.
Oh, asshole. Okay. Yeah, he asked me at 7:55 if I'm ready for the show, and I said I'll be home. Might be later than the norm of 8:30, and he said okay. So yes, he knew. Don't let him say he didn't. I've got Discord.
Nah.
Nah, what? That's usually followed up with some reasonable comment. Dick.
You didn't tell me ahead of time that you were going to be late. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but what's funny is
not that you were telling me as it was going on, yeah, you're going to be late. No. If you told me ahead of time, then
no,
sure.
See, I was only worried about being late after 8:30. If you notice, I said 8:30. See, I was only worried I wasn't going to make it. Then I made it in time, which is when I messaged you, asking if you were ready to do the video chat. Which you weren't. You were busy, I guess, eating or something or doing something. But it's all good. It all worked out, except for the fact that it didn't, and technical difficulties made things last longer. Kitty cat. But that's besides the point. Now that we're done fighting.
Anyways, fuck's sakes. Let's end this shit already. Check us out here on Tuesday for
End your
the Help
life.
Show.
I had to. They just fucking mic dropped. It's beautiful. I had to mess with them.
Anyways, check out the Animated Talk Show here on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. CST, where you normally talk about interesting anime seasonals that go on, and interview guests every other week.
Yep. We're trying to figure out a new show format, and we haven't come to any real conclusion. So that's always fun. Other than that, there's the occasional video game things that go on here every now and again. As we continue to play more games as a community, we'll have more stream sessions coming up, hopefully. I think we're going to play some APB Reloaded soon here. Other than that, that's really about it. And then we have the Talk Show Thursday show, again, every Thursday. And like I always say, between 8 and 8:30 p.m. CST, until we actually get down to being earlier. But that...
So between 7:30 and 8, got it.
If Kenneth would actually get me the news stories before 7:30, like he did a couple times, then yes. There's that one time you got it done at like 4, and I was like, what am I supposed to do now? And besides that, we have Shadowrun on Sundays. I think we have Shadowrun this Sunday at 5 p.m. CST. And then Saturdays, we're going to start doing Speakeasy Gaming D&D, which I'll be streaming here at this channel as well. And I have no idea what times those actually are, because I don't think we have a proper time ironed out, do we? Last time was like 6.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah, eventually. It'll just pop up on Saturday at some point. But anyway, until next time, thank you all for joining us. This has been those of us at Table Talk Thursday signing off. Have a good night.